Hello there folks, and welcome to another Lone Adventurer playthrough. Today I'm playing through Zombicide Gear Up, which is a flip and write. In other words, a game akin to a roll and write but without dice, and it is set in the Zombicide universe, so we are in for some zombie rampaging action here. Now I am a big zombie fan. I've watched a lot of zombie films, I've watched a lot of zombie TV shows, I've read a lot of zombie books, but I haven't played a lot of zombie games. I'm going to be playing with the solo rules, which are only a very slight variation on the multiplayer rules. I've played this a couple of times with someone else. We played it last night on the easiest possible mode, which is what we're going to be playing it on today, and we lost. But the first time we played it, we won. So hopefully we'll get a victory in today, and then maybe I'll do a second video with some variations to make it more challenging. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Right. So what have we got here? Well, obviously we've got our character, and our character has various weapons. And if you look on those weapons, you can see some Tetris style shapes, because this is one of those sort of polyomino based games where you're fitting shapes together, and these shapes represent the pattern of damage done to the various foes, the various zombies, and we've got those in these two decks over here. We've got some regular zombies and we've got some more crazy zombies. So that's the zombie decks, that's the character. We'll go into a bit more detail on the character as we are playing. Next to the main character, we've got three supporting characters. So at certain points during the game, I'll be able to call upon them to also attack the zombies and to help me out a little bit. These are our round trackers over here. Game is split into two parts, and for each part we'll have 9 of these round trackers, so we'll have a total of 18 rounds. When we hit a round tracker that also has one of these spawn cards underneath, it means that we will also experience some additional zombies. Over here, these cards are all about setting the difficulty of the game. We're going to be playing on easy mode, which means we start with 2 basic zombies, and we'll be using the standard side of the what's the card called? I'm not sure. The card that dictates the rate at which additional zombies come out, and this final symbol signifies that we'll be using the easy side of the final boss as well. So easy, easy, easy. What could possibly go wrong? We mentioned the boss there. I haven't shown you the boss yet. This is our boss. He is the Super Abomination. He has a basic special ability. This is essentially the easiest boss. The other ones, I assume, are a lot more crazy. I haven't got to those yet. But we'll talk about him in the second part, because while we're running through these first 9 rounds, we do not encounter the boss. We only encounter the boss in the second part. So we need 2 basic zombies to start the game. And here they are. We've got a walker and we've got a runner. Then I can flip this card over to the turn order and we can make a start. I'm going to flip the first turn card and let's see what we've got. So this means that in this round we will be using our yellow weapon, and this section here dictates zombie movement, and it means zombies that have this symbol or this symbol will both move towards me. So my yellow weapon is Metal Claws, and you can see the shape that it will make here. So I'll be able to hit the zombies for a total of 2 points of damage. However, the special ability of this weapon is you can use it twice, which means that I'll be able to do 4 points of damage. And we've also got this little symbol here, You'll notice that the other weapons do not have ticks next to these additional abilities. They're sort of upgrades that we can do during the course of the game. But the yellow weapon comes with those already in place. So let's have a look at what this symbol means. It's adrenaline. Take damage to activate this weapon a second time. Right. And let's have a look at these two zombies. I'm just going to have a quick think about which one I'm going to hit first. And then I'll give you a closer look at the card. So this zombie, the runner, you can see we've got to fill in a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 squares in order to kill this zombie. The red stars represent damage that it could potentially do to me. This one that is outside of the shape means that it's always going to do that damage, regardless of what happens, if it's in a position to hit me. The ones that are inside the shape can be covered up to reduce the amount of damage that it can do. It's also got a shield, so we can claim some body armor, I guess, from this zombie, or the region near this zombie, and that can be used to mitigate damage. And we've got a little bullet, so we've got some extra ammo that can be found, which will allow us to do additional damage as well. And you can see those symbols for movement here. So the runner, being super speedy, always moves. He moves when we reveal this symbol, and he moves when we reveal this symbol. Right, so this is the shape we can do. I'm going to do it once here. Hopefully, I'm going to sort of colour these squares in quite a bit with the hope that that will show up on the screen. So I'm doing that once, and remember I can do it a second time as well, and you can rotate and mirror the shapes. So I'm going to rotate it that way, which will allow me to cover those two bits there. 1, 2, and that gave me a bullet. And you can see I have recorded the fact that I've got a bullet here, and I can use that later on to do some extra damage. I've made a decent start on this guy. Then we're going to do the zombie walk. So the zombies are going to get closer. They're both going to move, because if you remember, we've got both symbols showing here. So the walker's moving one closer, the runner's moving one closer. I didn't really talk about this positioning aspect here. Zombies always start in this position here. This is the third street away from you. And then they gradually get closer. So they've now moved into the second street, and then finally the first street when they're right next to you. When they're in the first street, they can attack and do damage. But prior to that, they're just gradually shuffling closer. So they've done their shuffle, and then the final thing we would do is to spawn or do a boss action. Now we haven't got a spawn card yet. We have 2 turns with a little bit of respite before the zombies actually start spawning. So with that done, I think we're going to move on to the next turn. We're going to reveal a new card. So this time we're using the green weapon, and only zombies showing this symbol will move or attack. Now looking at this green symbol, that's a bit of a disaster really, because I was hoping I was going to be able to attack the same zombie, but that symbol unfortunately won't fit in to the outstanding shape that we've got there, so that sucks. So we're going to have to use this symbol on the walker. So we're going to spread our attacks between the walker and the runner, and I'm going to be flipping upside down and doing a shape like that. So you can see there, that's the shape of the SSG-08. Now the SSG-08 also has this symbol here next to it, and what that means is knockback, which means we can push the target back to the 3rd street slot. So that's pretty good. That's going to knock him back there. means he's not going to reach me for a little bit longer. Then we could upgrade, which I didn't really talk about yet, but you can only upgrade if you kill a zombie, which we haven't done yet. And then we're going to do the zombie walk. We've only got this one arrow symbol here, so the runner is going to come towards me. No zombies are yet in a position to attack. Now that the runner is in the first street, that does mean in the next round he will be able to attack me, so that is annoying. No spawn card, so we're going to move on to the next turn, and this is the first turn when there will be a spawn card for us. So it's the green weapon again, which is again annoying because I can't use that weapon on the runner at the moment. Luckily I can use it quite nicely on the walker, so I think we're going to do that. So if you have a look, we've got that little classic Tetris shape there, and I can fit that in like that, which only leaves one area of the walker to be shot in order to fully take him down. I've just covered up a bullet and one additional point of damage, so that's giving me an extra bullet. Right, I think, do you know what, I think I'm going to use, so the bullets that you collect, you can use them up, so shade them in like that, to do one extra point of damage. And I'm going to do that to this final section of the walker. So it might be difficult to see on the video, but I have fully shaded in everything, and this is the only bit that I haven't. So I can shade in that, and the walker has been defeated. So with that done, he's out of the way, and I get to upgrade a weapon. I think I'm going to go for the baseball bat, and I'm going to do you always have to do the first upgrade before the second. So I'm going to do this first one, which is scavenge. And this means that for each damage star, like this one, that I cross off with the baseball bat, I gain 1 shield. So that's very handy. Shields allow you to mitigate damage, and so last for a little bit longer. So with that done, zombies are going to walk. However, this X here means that no zombies walk in this round, so he's just going to sort of stand around in the first street not doing anything. And this is our first spawn card, and we're doing spawn action C. Looking at C over here, we can see that means we get one of these more crazy red zombies. So we flip over a red zombie and pop it in this spot here, and we've got a bomber. And this is a special kind of zombie that you'll be surprised to know explodes. So a bomber, when it would attack, we discard its card, we don't get an upgrade, and then we suffer damage equal to the number of stars not crossed off on the bomber. So we need to make sure we cross off a few stars and avoid it attacking as much as we possibly can. Now, we haven't actually been attacked by a zombie yet in this game, but I'm sure we will soon. On to the next turn. Okay, so we're using the blue weapon here. You'll notice we've got a little smiley face. That means we can use one of the support characters, and zombies with the single arrow are going to progress or attack. So our blue weapon is this scythe. That's fantastic news because I can use that quite neatly here, I think. I think that's probably what I should do. Ooh, actually, and then I can finish it off with one of the other characters. We're using this weapon. We're going to draw a shape. We're going to flip that upside down and then cover off this one, and this one. So 1, 2, 3. That gains me 1 shield. Ooh. So I can outline that, and that's ready to be used to mitigate some damage. And I'm left with just these 1, 2 spots here. Now I've got 2 supporting characters that can draw damage in that shape. Okay, so I'm going to go with Bradley. So Bradley not only draws that shape, it says here, draw this hit shape on one enemy in each street slot and the boss if in front of you. So that means I can do it on both, which is awesome. So I'm going to do it on the runner, which, as we already discussed, has killed him off. And we're going to do it on the bomber as well. I think I'm going to do it just down here at the bottom. Gets rid of one of the stars, which is good news. All done. So with that runner defeated, we can upgrade. This first ability on the green weapon is only relevant in 2-player games. It allows you to target enemies that are next to one of the other survivors. So that's useless. So I think I'm just going to cross that off and ignore it. And I'm going to allow myself to have the second upgrade instead. And that allows me to split the hit shape in two and then draw both of the resultant shapes on the same enemy. Okay, upgrading done. Zombie shuffles forward. And then we do the spawn. What have we got this time? B. So that gives me one basic zombie. It's a crawler. On to the next turn. We're using the green weapon. We're using one of our other survivors, and zombies with 2 arrows are moving, which is neither of our zombies, which is quite nice. Trying to decide which one to use out of these two. And we're using the green weapon, which we can split now. That's cool. That's cool. I think we'll do that first then. So we're going to use the SSG. Yeah, okay. I'm going to use the SSG and I'm going to split it up. So we're doing, if you can imagine that split down the middle that way, we're going to have 2 sets of 2 to use. I'm going to do the first 2 here and here. Covering off a bullet, and the second one here and here, which is covering off a shield. So I'll mark those in a second. You might think that I'd be more keen to get rid of these damage icons, and you might be right. You might be right. I just thought that if I did that and that, then I'd be blocking off a single up here. Might have been a bad idea. I'm not sure. I'm getting a shield and a bullet, and I can use one of the guys. When I used Bradley last turn, I should have flipped him over. So I'm now restricted to Roger and Ethan. Now I could use Ethan like that. In fact, I'm tempted to say I probably should. You can split the hit shape in 2 as well. That changes things slightly. Oh, that really does. In fact, that might have changed what I did over here, but I think I'm just going to forge on. I could remove those and do a better, a more performant action, but I don't think I'm going to. What I'm going to do is I'm going to split this shape in 2. I'm going to do the traditional Tetris like that. So that's that part there. That's covering up a bullet and a point of damage. So my bullet I'm going to pop over here. And I still have these 2, if you can see, these other 2 squares. So I've used 4 squares of Ethan's shape, and I've got 2 left. And it's got to be on the same boss. So I think I'm just going to squeeze them up at the top here. Like so, which leaves me this shape here of 3 squares. Which I could theoretically use the metal claws on, and I could theoretically use the baseball bat on. So I think that's key here. Part of the thing with this game, probably the reason why we lost last night, is you do need to think about using the weapons in the most effective way so that the remaining shapes can be dealt with some of your other weapons. Right, so that's Ethan's action used. Then no one's moving, that's very good news, but we do need to spawn. A. So A is one regular zombie, so we've got a walker. Alright, on to the next round. And we're using the yellow, no we're not. We're using the blue weapon. That's good. And no zombies are walking, that's even better. Right, so the blue weapon, this shape here, I can use that. Have I done that one? Ah, yes I have, I think. Right, so I can use that in reverse there, which will leave one down here and two up here. So I'm going to do that. Now I've got 3 bullets, so I could theoretically use all my bullets on him and finish him off. And it's not an awful idea. I've got to start killing some zombies because I'm pretty sure I'm going to get some more here. So shall I use all my bullets? Kill the bomber? I am not sure. I am not sure. Okay, I'm gonna wait one more round and see what happens. Okay, so B, that also gives me 1 basic zombie. And we've got a crawler. Crawler, a walker, 2 crawlers, 1 walker and 1 bomber. Starting to get a bit crowded. Next round we're going to be using our red weapon, which is the baseball bat, and the ones are going to move, so that's 3 of them. Okay, so I think the baseball bat does 3 lots of 1 point of damage, and if you remember it's got this scavenge ability, so every time I use it to cross off a star I gain a shield. So I think I'm probably going to try and rack up some shields. So I'm certainly going to do a point of damage to this bomber. That gives me a shield. And I'm going to do a point of damage to this walker. That gives me a shield. And then my final point of damage I'm going to do to this bomber. I've only got 1 point of damage that this bomber needs, and he's toast. I think I'll do that. I'll use one of my bullets to do a final point of damage to the bomber, and that means he is finished. So I can clean his little board and upgrade a weapon. I guess I should upgrade the blue weapon, the scythe, so I can give it the adrenaline ability, so I can take a damage to activate the weapon a second time. That could definitely be handy. Zombies walk, so it's going to be the crawler and the crawler walking. And we're going to spawn a new zombie. So A gives us a regular zombie, another walker. On to the next round. Next turn. Okay, so we're going to be using the red weapon, and we're going to be able to use Roger's ability, which is good news. So I think we'll start with Roger's ability. So he draws this shape, and his weapon is explosive. Draw this hit shape on each enemy of a single street and the boss if in front of you. So I think we're going to go for the street with the crawlers on, so I can draw his shape here. And I can draw his shape on here somewhere. I think up here and down at the bottom. Now this crawler here only has 1 remaining spot, so I think I will use one of my precious bullets to finish him off, which means I can upgrade a weapon. Not many upgrades to go now. I think I will upgrade the scythe so I can split it in 2. Okay, so I've used Roger's ability. I haven't yet used the baseball bat. Now I can use the baseball bat to do 3 separate points of damage. And then I could... Oh no, that does the scavenge, doesn't it? So each time I cross off a star. So I'm going to make sure I do that. Cross off that star there for one shield. This star up here for a second shield. Final one on the crawler, so he's close to being finished. That covered up a bullet, so I get an extra bullet to play with. Did the upgrade, didn't I? Yeah, did the upgrade. Spawning A, so that gives me one of these. So a runner onto the final turn of the first round. And we're using our blue weapon, that's good news. And those with the 2 are shuffling forward, the 2 arrows. So the blue weapon now, I could take 1 damage to activate a second time. I think I'm probably going to do that. And it can split, so the shape can be split into 2. Okay, so I can split this shape into 2. I can split it into a 1 and a 2, like that. I could put the 2 here, and the 1 next to it, and that finishes off the crawler, so the crawler is defeated. And I think I'm going to take a point of damage in order to do it again. Now the question is, do I use it on the walker here, which is already closer to being defeated, or do I use it on one of these guys? I think I'm going to use it on the walker. And again, I'm going to split the shape into 2. I'm going to use it on this walker, sorry. 2 like that, and then 1 next to it. So we've got all of the top part there is done. Right, so then the zombies... Oh no, sorry, then I need to upgrade because of the crawler I defeated. And actually I've only got 1 upgrade left, so all the weapons are now fully upgraded. Then the zombies are going to move, and it's those with the 2 arrow. 1, 2... Actually, it's all of them. There we go. Let's have a look what we've got here. C gives us 1 crazy zombie, and it's another bomber. So that is the first round done. In the next round, the second round, the super abomination is going to come out as well. So what I'll do, I think, is I'll take a little break. We'll come back in a second video, and I'll leave this exactly as it is here, and I'll show you how the second round is set up. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please do hit the like button. Feel free to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more adventures just like this, and I shall see you in the next one. Thanks very much for watching. Bye for now.